All right. I had a pretty good night throwing the ball last night. I was loosening the arm up, getting myself ready to go, and got a petition the NCAA maybe go take a few snaps out there. And no, I know that's probably everybody's biggest question or concern. I wish I had a better answer for you, but I'll let you be as frustrated as I get sometimes, and I'll give you my trainer's response. Well, everybody's day to day right now. And I said, well, that means, yeah, I mean, come on, like, sounds like the weather report, right? 50% chance it'll rain today. Pretty safe saying that, right? 50% chance of sun, 50% chance of rain. No, we got to see what's going on with those guys as the week goes on. As I said, they came in, they're getting better, they get treatments today. We don't practice again until tomorrow afternoon, so we'll see where everybody's at that point. If not, and I guess, fortunately, sometimes you sit there and scratch your head and saying, boy, I wonder if it was right to play Damien at all this year. And at this point, it was looking like that was the right decision. Thank goodness we did that. For a situation, to give him a lot of credit on Saturday night, to sit there and say, hey, go get it, big guy, and to come in and perform. I obviously like to see him even perform at a higher level, but I think it came in and the stage wasn't too big for him. He was ready to go, came in, made a couple nice throws, and filled in. And I think, in his mindset, he'll get himself ready to play this week if he's got to be our guy, if he's got to start for us, depending on the health of the other guys. So the rest of the injury status for us for this week, it pretty much, status quo. I didn't think we had, talking to our trainers, there wasn't a whole lot of downside. We got a couple guys with the flu out right now. But that happens, I guess, to people this time of year. And Skinner, they said, again, day to day, they think he should be good, that he was really close to playing. And, like I said, like the state of emergency of guys being able to play. But I also look out, you got to look out for the health of young men and, long-term futures of them. So hopefully all his symptoms finally go down and he's able to play this week, which would be the thought. And then this week's game, a great challenging game for us. You look at the type of team that they have right now. Brett, a first-year coach, are trying to get into the program he's trying to build right there. Looks like they're playing a lot of young players. Have some very talented guys. Have two extremely talented running backs and a big physical offensive line. One of the better running teams in the conference, and have run it on everybody. So it's not like it's just, hey, they put up. You look at the average. Sometimes averages can be deceiving, statistically speaking. They've had success running the ball on every team in the league. So that's a challenge on that side of the ball. And defensively, they got a great front, cause a lot of pressure on you. I think they've played. You watch them on film. I think they play good defense. They've been bit a lot by big plays, it seems like to me, because you watch them play good defense, and then all of a sudden, there's three big plays and they're giving up points. And so the challenging part for that is, I don't think you can go into a game counting saying, hey, we're going to just go bombs, and we're not going to, look, and let's hope we get the 380-yard touchdown passes, because you want to play consistent offense. So, I think they're going to be a physical outfit, big physical front. We're going to have some challenges moving the ball on them.
Dan, how much has Damien, had first-team reps, this week, and then how much has he had in the season?
I think he had 9 or 10 first-team reps Saturday night. I don't know, maybe 12. I don't forget the number. He had some first-team reps there. Hasn't gotten a lot of first-team reps. Really hasn't. Got a couple last night, but those are also watered-down first-team reps because the first team really doesn't practice much on Sunday. So, it's kind of the normal crew that he's in there with. So, we'll see. I think a lot will depend. A lot will depend tomorrow. And a lot depends. The I guess that available or being able to play question that comes up, which it always sounds iffy. The trainer said, he's available, but he's not going to be very effective out there on the field. That's a tough decision to make. And then you also look at the. Like I've always said to me, I have to make a decision as a coach, almost as a parent. You know, that's your son. You want to put out there. I mean, for me myself, hey, I'll chop my finger off and go play. You know, so your finger's going to bother you. You know, I got 9 other ones. You might, you know, we're that crazy. I think it nuts sometimes, but you know, you're looking at you know at kids, and you know, we treat these guys like they're your kids. You're a little bit more cautious with them probably than I am with myself. Not very healthy way to live, and I'm sure my wife doesn't appreciate that, but that's the reality of the situation. So you want to try not to let them play, and that'll determine if you know if Damien's healthy and the other guys aren't. We'll go with Damien.
Coach, kind of take you back to the opportunity you had at the end of the first half against Alabama with 2nd and 1. It seems like you got some bigger backs back there with Nick or Ashton, but it seems like you had a problem finding that goal line back this year.
Well, you know, but Perk does a good job. Perk's got a lot of good short yardage runs for us, and ran in a lot of short yardage runs. You know, I think what did we get it down to 2nd and 1? We had a missed assignment running the ball. You know, we missed a block up front, so it didn't matter how big a block we had in. I mean, not a missed assignment, we just missed a block. How big a back we had in there when you got a 310-pound guy 4 yards deep in the backfield, not much is going to happen for you on the third down and the second down play in that situation. You know, 3rd down we went to the pass, ended up with a penalty, and honestly, 3rd down went to the pass. We were planning on going for it there on 4th down. Well, I was hoping to score on 3rd down, to be honest with you, but if that didn't work, we were planning on going for it on 4th down in that situation. I think the question came up of why they took the penalty, because I think they thought we were going to go for it again on 4th and 1, and said, hey, let's make it where we have to stop them on 3rd down, where they're definitely going to take the field goal, then a 4th down and short play where we have run pass options available to us, and put it in a little more statistically in their favor. And so that was that situation.
Dan, can I take you back to the handwritten letter from Brett after the Nick Bell thing?
Yeah.
How much, this is going to sound bad, but how surprised were you to get something like that from a guy that you quite honestly you said you really had never met?
Well, it wasn't. You know, you are surprised, you know, because you got a lot of calls. You know, you get calls from different people. You know, and I know a lot of, you know, you have things that go on, you know, and you get a call from Nick or Les Miles or something like that. You know, I mean, they're in the conference. You see them all the time. And they give a quick call saying, hey, you know, I mean, just wishing you the best. You know, I know it's a tough situation. And but to get that, I mean, to take time to write a full letter out and send, you know, another thing with it that was I thought it was a really neat deal, you know, for a guy. And and not knowing him, you know, just seeing him from afar. I think I'd met him once at the Fiesta Frolic type deal that they used to have, you know, briefly. But to get that, I think, you know, it just shows the type of a character of a man that he is. And you know, and it's little things like that. I tell our guys, and you know, I try to think that way too in my life. You know, I mean, you don't know how you're impacting other people. Try to do the right thing. You know, and it does, and he probably doesn't even remember writing the letter, maybe, but you know, I mean, it had an impact on me, and I think that just shows the character he has as a coach, and how I think all of us try to, for the most part, try to live our lives.
Maybe the best defensive game your team has had. How do they build on that in the last 2 games?
Well, play better. Wasn't good enough of a defense, you know. I mean, a great defensive game is to hold them to 1 less point than we score, and a great offensive game is to score 1 more point than we give up. Is how you look at it. But I thought we played physical. You know, and you know, in a matchup, I don't know how much it all relates. A little bit more this week's game because they like to run the ball, and they're a big physical running team. You know, so I think that last game and this game can tie together. You know, we got to get in the cold tank and get all the bruises healed up and everybody kind of healthy and get ready for another punch in the mouth physical game. You know, we're the last game of the season. I think they're a little bit more spreads out, run around, and a more open field game. So you know, so I think you can look at the last game and say kind of that ties to this or whatever. But every game in its own way has its kind of uniqueness, and you kind of know what you're getting when you're playing Alabama. We kind of knew that going in, and we're expected a physical game.
Dan, you've been to Little Rock before. It's kind of a different environment playing in that stadium. What makes it such a difficult place to play?
Huh. I don't know. I mean, I think anywhere on the road's tough to play in the SEC. You know, I don't know that it's more difficult there than it is in Tuscaloosa or in Baton Rouge or in Auburn or here in Starkville. I think probably a lot of people think it's awful tough to come here to play. I think anytime you're on the road in this league, and I think a lot of that's the passion of the fan base. You know, one of the things you look and you say, hey, boy, our team played. Obviously, I'm not happy that we didn't win the game compared to other games, but hey, a lot of people look and say we played well on Saturday, and lo and behold, it was our best environment, loudest crowd. We had our best recruiting weekend. All of these things tie in together. It's amazing how that works. You know, and I think, again, anytime you go on the road, you're going to Little Rock, a place where their fans are very passionate about playing. I think they have a passionate fan base there. It's a loud, hostile environment, and that always gives you a great home field advantage in this league, and it makes it always very difficult. And, you know, I mean, our fans gave us that on Saturday night, made it difficult for Alabama to come play in, inspired our kids to play at a high level, and certainly helps you in recruiting an awful lot as well.
Talking with Tevez and Chris Jones, obviously when you look at a game against teams like that where you're 3 or 4 plays away from getting the win, but it seems obviously that could go either way. Kids could get discouraged, but they seem more focused, still encouraged by the progress that they're making and to get over that hump. I
think that's important for us, and as we're building the program and continue to build the program in the future, is I think our young guys. One of the things that I want, you know, a couple of things when you have young players, is one, you have to get them to understand to expect to make the plays. Don't look around for other guys to make the plays. You know, I go back last season, you know, on defense a lot of times guys be looking around and, you know, I mean, key moment of the game. I remember, you know, if there's either one that really jumps out to you of a whole season, Tennessee, they get all the momentum. They're going, they're making play. And lo and behold, there's John Banks, ripped the balls out, recovers the fumble, does everything all on his own. And everyone's like, that's why you're the captain. You know, that's what we expect. John Banks was here, and he's the guy to make the play. And I think young guys sometimes are looking to who is that guy instead of saying, hold on, that guy's me. And everyone out here, I'm the guy that's going to make the big play to win the game, and I expect to do that. I think that is a step that you come forward. But I do think with our young guys that also is important is I think they look at this, and again, I think it might sound funny, you know, I think that we're 4 and 6 of saying that we're not that far off. And I think our young guys look, and they're realizing, hey, I need to make, we're not that far off, and if I make my plays, I'm the one that, you know, stop looking for somebody else. I'm the one that needs to make this play. And when a young team starts thinking that way, instead of getting discouraged of saying what the problem is, when they look and can say, hey, we're really not that far off, and I'm going to be the guy to expect to make the plays moving in the future, great things can happen to you. And so I do think that shows bright for us as we continue to build the program here.
Dan, we were in Texas A&M and heard one of the media people ask someone about a job in USC, and then even this week, Muschamp was asked by a fan, why shouldn't you get fired? How do coaches deal with like these last couple of weeks with, you know, all the stuff surrounding other jobs when you guys have obviously jobs to handle right now?
You know, I think you always just have to completely block that out. You know what I mean? Like one question you always think like, okay, like, you know, are you on the hot seat? Well, I hate to break it to you, if you're coaching in the Southeastern Conference, I've been on the hot seat here for 5 years now. You know, I mean, you can go to any coach, go over to Tuscaloosa and ask. You might not think, wait till they lose a game. If we had won on Saturday night, he'd be on the hot seat. You know, I mean, it's you're about a game away in this league from that situation. I think maybe the SEC, and I think the passion in the SEC more so than everywhere else. Maybe except for the NFL, but you can still lose 6 games in the NFL and go win a Super Bowl probably. You know, you lose 6 games in this league, look out. And I think that just comes with the territory, and I think you have to accept that as part of coaching in this league. You know, I think, to be honest with you, with all that stuff for coaches, the toughest part is not on the coaches. I'm I'll be honest, I'm in my office from 7 in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. I don't really see normal people in public, except for you guys. And I don't think you're that normal. One of the things I think is always tough on all of us is families. Because I don't know. I mean, Will's kids got to go to school. Will's wife, my wife, she's got to go to the grocery store. Brett's wife goes out for dinner. Everybody's, when you get in this league sometimes, your families are out there in public a lot more. And I think that is a huge stress to me. If I ever think about one thing, I'm much more concerned of any effect it has on my family than it has on me. I'm okay. I mean, I like you guys know, I deal in the realities. I mean, I'm so far past last Saturday's game into this week's game. And someone said, you think your record. I have to think of what our record is right now to even think of what it is, to take your focus off the task at hand, which is beating Arkansas. But I think it is tough on families sometimes around the league. And, with Kevin, I'll put it this way, right? You're either on the way out the door because you're winning, or you're on the way out the door because you're losing. And I guess for Kevin, you'd rather be on the way out the door for winning than losing. I guess, right, people's opinions of me around here, I've had both, and I'll take the winning over the losing. And I'm still here. Plan on being for a long time.
I know you don't personally know Brett all that much, but when he came in the league and you knew he was coming into the league, it almost seems like you two may have the same kind of personalities. You like to needle and tweak certain skills, and he does too. And he comes in Birmingham and says, "We play real American football here," and it causes a problem for everybody that runs the spread. But that's just, do you kind of sit back and look at that and go, well, this is going to be fun? It almost seems like you 14 guys kind of sit around and go, how can we have some fun with this?
I don't know that, but I will say this. I think to survive as a head coach in the Southeastern Conference, you better have some confidence. No, I don't think. I think I'm a pretty shy, introverted person in some ways, and pretty humble guy. And if you ask most people that know me, they think the complete opposite of that. And I think everybody in this league. But I think when you come in, and very much like me, you're coming in and you're trying to put your personality into your program. And people often say to me, maybe I don't needle as much, the school up north or other people as much as I used to. I still do. I haven't changed that. I think it just comes off that I'm not new and out there all that much, that they already know what we are, so the program's a little bit more established, where I think early on, Brett's not going to change who he is and the type of football they play. That's his personality. He's that type of coach. Now, 3 years from now, it'll sound a little bit differently, I think, to everybody. So everybody's got their own deal, though.
I know you probably get tired of the questions on special teams, but looking at the film, what did you see from Evan with the short kick?
Well, it wasn't to me. I was more disappointed with his extra point than his field goal, and it might sound crazy right there, but I think he hit the field goal clean. He just aimed the wrong way. To be honest, we looked at his plant foot. He was, we're on an angle, and he aimed way too far an angle. You look at the kick, he had great height, great explosion. It was, dead straight kick. So, in the ways of coaching that right there, he kicked it with a lot of confidence. The PAT was a little bit shakier. The second kick after he had missed the first one to me looked a little shakier than the first, even though he made that one. That's something, though, the one thing the guys know, we do have confidence. Those are things, little things, that we're always working to fix. And you're lucky you have a true sophomore and a redshirt freshman kicking for you a lot. They're young guys that are coming in big situations and are still trying to figure it out. And I think both of them, even Devin and Evan, have enough talent that when they get they're 100% on their technique and they're 100% on their confidence, we could have some of the better kickers in the league. And I think just right now, they're kind of dealing with making sure the technique right, and then the confidence issue on top of that. That's always huge. But that comes from outside. They know inside the building we have confidence in them. So I guess I got to make it harder for them at practice or scarier for them at practice. They seem to do well at practice. I must not be intimidating enough at practice. It used to be they were more nervous at practice with me standing over their shoulder than they were in games, and now it's gone the opposite way. I must be too nice.
With 2 games remaining, obviously you need to win both of them. What's kind of the mindset around the team, and how do you keep them from trying to win 2 games Saturday?
Well, yeah, we just need to win one Saturday. I mean, I think with them the focus obviously and is all about this because it's kind of like when we talk about it and everything. We talked about it in the Texas A&M game. It was a great little learning experience. Hey, I know we needed to come back and score a couple touchdowns. Well, you can't score the second one until you score the first one. And if your focus is on, boy, how do we go back and score? What do we score? 28 points in the fourth quarter. Boy, we got to score all these points. No, you don't. Score the first one, and then worry about the second one next. And our guys have been able to do that. I think when you look at teams, I was talking to the team this, and I didn't even know this when I brought it up to the team. Just historically speaking, of things this team can accomplish. If we win the next 2 games and finish 6-6, that doesn't seem like a banner season. But we will have, I guess, one in the state of Arkansas, or against Arkansas in the state of Arkansas for the first time in the history of the university in 100 and some years. That's pretty historical. Would have gone to the first time. We would have gone to 4 consecutive bowl games for the first time in 100 some years. So in historical in context, there's an awful lot of things that this team can accomplish. They're not going to be the next team to go win something. They're going to be the first team to do something. And so I think our guys and the motivation of winning this game this week and then finding a way to get to a bowl game if we're able to win this game, there's an awful lot to play for. In every one of the games. Never winning in Arkansas before. I don't know how many, times that we've won 4 out of 5 Egg Bowls. I know we have, but I'm going to say in quite a long time, like well before I was born, 1940s. So, before most of you were born, right? Jim called that game. He remembers it. So in the historical context of the team, and we talk about that is, as we want to build a championship team, we're building a foundation. There's a lot of programs out there they're just doing, the foundation was built, and they're doing something that's been done before. Where we're trying to build a foundation to do things that haven't been done before. And I think our kids really can understand that and see that and see the positives and the opportunity to go do that. And they want to take advantage of it.